The Wire Podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Wire Podcast. I'm Teka, Rennocks.
Chrystina Peoples.
And Sherece Sapp. Hello, ladies.
Fantastic. So we are back again with the fantastic seasoned realtor, Yadlynd Cherubin-Eide. So Yadlynd, today we are excited to have you on. I know we have a great discussion. You know, ladies, I know you have a lot of questions for Yadlynd. She's seasoned. She's been in the business 12 plus years, correct, Yadlynd?
I've actually been in the business 16 years. I think I'm going to stop counting after this because I feel like I'm getting old.
That is very, very long. So I was correct.
Yeah, 12 plus, yep, 12 plus.
Fantastic. So I'm assuming you have I'm not assuming, I know you have a lot of experience, etc. So you have a lot to discuss with us today, right? So we want to start with you just telling us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself to our audience, basically.
All right. Well, first of all, I need to thank you ladies for having me on. I was very, very excited when I got the call. I was just like, what you guys are doing is amazing. And I appreciate you guys just putting me on your platform. I'm super excited about being here. Again, my name is Yadlynd Cherubin-Eide, licensed 16 years. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. That's important to me. So, you know, when you talk about your real estate and your career, you want to talk about the whole picture. Right. And so my family life is super important. It's actually why I've done so well in real estate, because they are my why. Awesome. I'm with Keller Williams. I have a team, the legacy team. So I'm the team leader or rainmaker or whatever you want to call it. And I actually really, really love what I do. So, you know, that's pretty much in a nutshell.
We can tell. I see the passion. I hear it in your voice, and I watch you daily on Instagram. We've been to a couple different events together, etc. So I've seen it. I recognize it, and I applaud you. And I realize you're doing fantastic, right? So if we could dive a little bit deeper, how did you really get started in real estate? How did that happen?
I can tell you, I'm from a West Indian background. My family's from Haiti. And so we have 9. So there's 9 of us. Wow. So imagine 9 of us, and we're renters. Okay. So having to find a place with your 9 kids, it was very, very difficult. Mm-hmm. So just watching my parents struggle with finding a place for her, you know, for the family to live, that was like a big deal. When my mom finally purchased our first home, I realized how important it is for you to have security for your family.
Right.
Okay. So that was like kind of like the first sign of me being interested in real estate. My mom and dad, they actually bought properties here and there. They bought properties out of state. Mm-hmm. And I just became very interested in real estate. So I got my license thinking that my goal was just to buy properties. But I said, you know what, if I get my license, I'll be in and I'll be able to, you know, get deals. Like a lot of people think that because you're in real estate, you're able to get deals. So that was my initial mindset, getting my license and getting into the industry.
Okay, so you got your license to just get your feet wet in the real estate industry, basically. So, you know, just to understand a little bit about you, Yadlynd, what did you do prior to real estate?
Right. So that's a good question. So I have my bachelor's in forensic psychology, and I have a master's degree in public administration and human resources.
Wow.
So for a few years, I investigated child abuse for the New York City.
Wow.
And I did that for about 7 years, and that was very, very stressful. You know, with that background, you know, I wanted to help people. So that's why I kind of got into that field. But it took a toll on me emotionally. The work that I was doing was just really tough. The cases that I got, I was in court a lot, removing kids. It was a big, and so I did that for 7 years. And I realized that this was just too much for me. Like I wanted to still be in a field where I could help people, but not like that. Like it just took too much out of me. So I got my master's in public administration. I went into human resources, and that was okay. However, I wasn't making money. I was working a lot of hours for corporate America. I wasn't making the big bucks. I couldn't understand why, because I felt that I was skilled and I knew what I was doing. And I would say about 5 years ago, I had to kind of reevaluate what I was doing. You know, working in Manhattan, coming home, I had these 2 cute little boys that wanted to play with me, but I was like super drained.
Yeah.
I was too tired. I gave corporate America like 95% of me. And 5 years ago, I sat down and I was like, yeah, this is just not working out. Like, I know I could be doing better. I know that this is not the life that I'm supposed to be living. So I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute, I have my license. And between then I was doing real estate, but just part-time, you know, a couple of deals here and there. So I had my full-time salary. So any money I made from real estate was like, ooh, I'm a baller, you know, I'm making money.
I think we can all relate.
Yeah. So I just said, wait a minute, I have my license. And I thought to myself, if I worked as hard as I do for this company, for myself, I would be great. I would be doing big things.
Yeah.
So I came home, I'm married, so I had to talk to my husband about it. And I was very nervous about having this conversation because I'm literally just telling him I'm about to quit my job.
Right.
And so I get home, I talk to my husband and I'm like, babe, listen, in my mind, I had like a PowerPoint. I had like all the pros of what I'm going to tell him and why it's going to work out for our family. And I said, babe, I think I want to quit my job and I want to focus on real estate. And I swear we didn't even really get into it. He was like, I think that's a great idea.
Awesome.
He said, I think
He was there.
State. And I'm waiting for him to say, psych, are you crazy? But he did it. He was super supportive. So I quit my job. I gave my 2 weeks notice and I started treating real estate as a business.
Right.
And it, like, I have not looked back. There's not one day that I can say that I look back and said, oh, I wish I didn't do this. Every single day I'm just like, whoa, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah.
So basically you've been full-time in real estate 5+ years, a little bit
5
over.
years. Yep.
You have built what you have built in 5 years. That is fantastic. Hats
Yes.
off to you. Because
Thank you.
you were full-time a lot longer than
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
I know
Me
people,
too.
you know, okay, you have the support of your husband, but I know people are like, oh, you going from a real job to real estate? They probably thought you were crazy.
Yeah, when I gave my notice, people were like, did you win the lotto? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, you know, I'm a realtor. And they didn't believe me. They thought that there was something else going on. And I'm like, no, I'm going to just focus
And
on
now
real
they
estate.
see you on Instagram and you popping.
I mean, and you know what?
Join the team, right?
They're watching me and people are watching you. And it's so important for you to like really, you know, people are out there watching you. And I like family members that didn't support me back then.
Yeah.
People that I worked with, you know, they're watching. They're just like, whoa, like she really did it, you know? And then I have more that I want to do. So it's like, you know,
you're just getting started pretty much.
You're just getting started. Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because I have my degree too in forensic psychology. So, but I've never used it. So I just use it dealing with clients every day.
Yeah, we use it every day. You think that you don't use it, but you know, dealing with what we do, we're dealing with this every single day. Like it's like the ideal degrees that you should have, like to help you navigate all of the different personalities we deal with on a regular basis.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, it's funny you should say we use it every day, which brings me to my next question, Yadlynd. Like, what do you think of the current climate of real estate right now? Like, what's going on? Like right now, what are your thoughts on that? How
the market is hot. The market is so busy. It's moving very quickly. There's just a lot going on. And I feel like right now, this is an opportunity for a lot of people who are looking to get into homes to get into homes. Now, the pricing is high, but the interest rates are low. So I think in this fast moving market, I think a lot of people are looking at what they need for their family. And they're making really informed decisions as to whether or not this is the time for them to actually get into a home or finally invest in real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question to you right now is, how would you define your career?
So how would I find my real estate career as far as?
Yeah, how would you, well, let me get more into details. I know, how has it been from being a solo agent to establishing a team, running and maintaining a successful team right now?
So I would say that the first thing is that when I started to do this full time, I had never imagined even having a team. Like that was not on my radar. It was just me. You know, when you're doing real estate, I think that number is like $100,000. So you're like, if I make $100,000, I'm good. You know, so when I quit my job, that was my goal, make $100,000. Okay. Being a solo agent it's very, very different from running a team, because you know what? As a solo agent, you set your goals, you're accountable to yourself, and that's it. You can change your goals. You know, you don't have to really worry about anyone else. But when you're running a team, not only are you focused on your goals now, you have to focus on your team members' goals. It's not just about you winning, your entire team has to win. And if your entire team is not winning, then you're not doing something right. You have to set an example for your team. So it's challenging having a team, because there's so much more involved. You know, like, again, we're dealing with different personalities. You want to make sure that they're winning as well. And you also want to make sure that you guys are on the same page. Like when you're working with other people, when you have, like, you guys have your team, what you're doing is a big deal. And you guys have to have a like-minded, you guys are like-minded, you guys have similar goals, you guys have to be able to trust each other and trust that you guys are looking at the full picture and you guys are looking in the same direction. So running a team, that's, you know, that's really, really important. And I have to make sure that I'm looking out for my team members. And also my company has expectations of me as a rainmaker. There are certain things that I have to perform and do in order for me to continue to have my team.
So explain to our audience and other realtors watching, what exactly is a rainmaker?
So a rainmaker is basically the person that is not only running the team, you have the vision for a team. Okay, so you have the vision of how your team is going to operate. The rainmaker basically sets the systems in place. They provide support to the team members. They bring a lot of the deals in. They bring a lot of the leads, the listings, the buyers. The rainmaker is really the person that brings a lot of the business, but they also are responsible for coaching your team members and mentoring the team members. So you have a responsibility to your team members. It's not just completing these deals, but also allowing them to grow. Because at the end of the day, when you have team members, you want them to grow, to be able to maybe start their own team or even. So a rainmaker is the person that's actually bringing in the deals, bringing in the structure. They're making sure that, you know, they're holding the team members accountable. And you guys are like in line, your vision, your mission statement, everything is in line as far as and everybody's on the same page.
Okay.
Got it.
What would you say to someone who's looking to either join a team or start a team? Do you think it is wise to have a structure in place and also a coach?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So having a team, you definitely need to have systems in place. Because you just can't have everybody just doing things their own way. You have to have a team structure. You have to have, I wouldn't say rules, but just like a system. It should just be automatic. Like, you know what, if you're dealing with a seller or listing, it should be automatic, the process of dealing with that listing. You know, so you absolutely have to have your systems in place for your team members to be able to make sure that we're all operating in the same space.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And what would you say is like your biggest mistake, but an accomplishment, like individually and, you know, with the team? Because we've all made mistakes and that's just what comes with learning and growing. So, you know, let our audience know, because there are a lot of people out there who want to start teams, or even as being a solo agent, you know, some of the things that some of the obstacles that you've, you know, come up against along your career.
So I've definitely made a lot of mistakes, and I'm sure I'm making mistakes today, and I'm learning. And that's part of it is acknowledging the mistakes and revisiting. Like I said, you know, you have to revisit your goals, revisiting how you work and operate. But I would say one of the biggest mistakes that I've made is that when I did start my team, I had a much bigger team. And literally, if you just said, Yad, I want to make money in real estate, I want to work with you, I was like, all right, we're down, let's do it. So I had a team. I had a team of about 6 or 7 people. Sorry, I don't know how to. I had a team of about 6 or 7 people, and it just didn't work out. They were not like-minded. They were not on the same page. It was very difficult to manage. I wasn't giving them the coaching and the mentorship that they needed. We were just a bunch of agents that were in a group. We weren't really a team. And there's a big difference when you.
What changed between that experience and now to making your team what it is right now, what we're seeing right now?
Well, I was able to kind of see that, you know, we weren't really a team. We weren't on the same page. It was just a group of people working together saying that they were on a team.
Real
Right
leadership.
now, yeah. Right now, I feel like the team that I have now, we're all invested in growing
Okay.
the team and growing the business. We are all on the same page. We are all moms.
Okay.
We actually all live in the same area, so we're pretty cool, and we like each other.
Okay.
And we are focused on really helping them with not just like we help each other with not with just our real estate goals, but just life goals.
Right.
Okay.
And
You know, because
That's
it's
important.
not just about this. It's about
Yeah.
your whole life. When you think about what you're doing, you do everything for a reason. So I want to be supportive of you. It's like if you want to start a business, you know, we want to be the ones cheering you on, helping you to get there.
Absolutely.
So we have to be very supportive, and we have to trust each other. And that's so important. The last team I had, that wasn't in place, and you could feel it. The energy
Yeah.
wasn't there. Like if I won an award, people wouldn't show up,
you and
you
celebrate.
know, and you know, that said something. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
So I wanted to jump into the initial topic that of this entire podcast is for you, is just defining the culture of real estate. And I want you to kind of tell our viewers, like, what was your initial experience versus your experience now with the culture of real estate? Because I do feel like real estate does have a culture involved that a lot of people aren't privy to if they're not in it. And when I say they're in it, they're not full time, they're not out here, you know, hustling every day, the phone calls, the appointments, you know, dealing with these deals, closing them out. So what was your initial experience, what you thought real estate was versus where you're at now?
Okay. So there's a couple of things. The first thing is that, you know, people think that it's easy.
Yeah.
Like I have clients that, you know, I help them find homes and they're like, I'm getting my license because it's easy. And that's
Mm-hmm.
great.
How
Like
many
I would be
times have we
supportive.
dealt with that?
We've heard that a
But
lot.
it's not easy because we know that we're working all day, every day. We're constantly
Yes.
building, we're constantly putting things in the pipeline, we're constantly thinking about how to grow, how to get better. And it is not easy. It is
Yeah.
not easy. And I that is so important for any new agent, anyone starting to join the team. It is not easy to be in real estate. What we do is very difficult. Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing is that when I started 16 years ago, it was pretty much every man for themselves. There was no real collaboration. That's why I said I love what you ladies are doing, because you guys are different companies. I'm in a different company, and yet we're giving each other props and we're building each other up, and that's how it should be. When I started back then, it was like people were stealing deals from each other. You couldn't trust them. If you had something, you got to hold it tight. You can't tell people what you're doing. This is an environment that you're setting for us where we can talk and build and grow and learn.
100%.
And you know, just to interrupt you real quick, yeah, and it's so funny as you say that, because a lot of the older seasoned agents that we run into and we deal with sometimes, who've been in the game for 20 plus years, they have a different type of conversation and a different type of aura about themselves. But when you say that, it kind of makes sense now because they come from a different mindset than we are in right now. So I understand that.
Absolutely.
Agents don't practice. They don't operate from the place of abundance. And I realized that. So it's a dog eat dog world out here. And we don't want that for ourselves because, as you mentioned, Yadlynd, we're different companies. It doesn't matter. We're sharing one platform so we can all grow from each other. Because once you adopt the mindset that there is enough out there for everyone.
Yes.
And you know what? And when you're winning, that doesn't mean I'm losing.
100% not. And a lot of people fail to
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
If I had the ability to service every single deal, would I have a life? No.
No.
You understand? There's so many people out there that need service, and there's no one or two person that can take care of all that. So we got to understand that there's enough room. Just don't be lazy and go out there and do what you need to do.
But every transaction, like how many times have you double-ended your deal? Like you're always working with someone else. Like this is a field where you're working with other people.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to work well with each other. I actually have agents that call me and say, hey, yeah, this property is coming on the market in about 2 weeks. Get your buyers lined up.
And that's the way to go.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And you're servicing your client, your seller, a lot better that way, because their goal is to sell and move on. While some agent goal is to, pocket the entire thing. They don't think about, the seller. They don't care. It's all about the money for them. And if I don't want to touch, go too deep in that, but I don't like working in Brooklyn a lot of times because of that.
Yeah.
A lot of agents out there,
I agree.
I had to say it.
It's a whole different attitude in Brooklyn.
Different, whole different.
There's a
animal.
different culture out there.
Corporation, you
That's what,
literally got to say, I'm a buyer's agent and my buyer is paying me. Otherwise, they won't. A lot of them won't even entertain you. And I'm like, wow, this is ridiculous.
That's where I started. I started off in Brooklyn, just so you know.
wow.
I started off in Brooklyn, so you can imagine, you know, the environment that I came from, and I'm just like, this is not how you're supposed to be doing business.
Exactly. Exactly. It's so true. It's so true. I started off in Manhattan. I was like, I cannot get with this. I was like, it's like almost still being in corporate America. You know, it's just like, it's a different type of animal in those areas. So, yeah.
But even though with Chrystina starting in Brooklyn, I can remember when I met Chrystina, we were in the same brokerage, we're in the same company, and still at times, because of, you know, our brokerage and the atmosphere, it still felt like we were set against each other. Even when we wanted to work with each other, it's like, oh no, it would never happen. I'm like, why can't we work together? What's the problem?
That's important, to align yourself with the right people, the right company that has the right culture that fits, you know, your needs. Because just imagine being around people like that all the time.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Yadlynd, let me ask you really quickly, since you've been in the business for a while, right? So much has changed over the years in terms of technology, etc. So I know things is not the same as when you started initially full-time, let's say 5 years ago. What has changed for you? How have you been able to improve your business?
Okay, so definitely you just mentioned technology. That has been big. I'm actually the ALC member with Keller Williams. That's called Agent Leadership Council for Keller Williams for technology. And technology has been really big. I will tell you, I get 30% of my business from social media.
Awesome.
People that I don't know, people that are just watching, are contacting me, and they're I'm selling their homes. I'm helping family members purchase. So technology is big. And even with COVID, a lot of my consultations now, my buyer consultations, are via Zoom. So technology has been, I would say, is one of those things that you just have to stay on top of it. You have to know what's coming up. How can you grow your business? What else can you be doing? What technology is out there to help you and your team just, you know, do more and stand out? You know, you don't want to be just like an average agent. You want to be able to stand out. So technology is big, but also the team structure. If you notice that there's so many teams out there.
Right.
When I started, the team structure wasn't like a big thing. And I feel like a lot of people are saying, you know what, we could do more if we come together. So there's that saying, you know, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you know, you go as a team or something. I'm not saying properly.
If you want to go far, you go together, which I agree with 100%. If you come together as a team and you have the right mindset, everyone is aligned, because you can have a team all day. If you're not all on the same page, it makes no sense. And that's what I admire about your team, Teka. You can feel the unity, and you know, you're building strong and small, and not going fast like everybody else. Everybody just want a whole bunch of people, because it's important, you know, because you can have, like you had the experience before, because you had a larger team prior, and you realize it didn't work out because everybody wasn't in tune with each other. So it's important to really, you know, vet the people that you go into business with, that you're going to work with on a daily basis, whether you're doing the disc profile or something. But you know, you got to know who you're working with. I think that's very important.
And I think a lot of it too, I have to say this, is that, let me tell you, the girl power, okay? Women are definitely women will be a lot more open to step up and say, you know what, I did this wrong. Let me start over. You know, when dealing with men, you know, a lot of the times they're not going to fess up to their mistakes. That's just their nature, where we don't have a problem with taking a few steps back so that we can start over and do it right the second time around. So, you know, women are just at a point too where we're just taking the lead, and we're just making it happen. And I love it. I'm seeing a lot more women in real estate. I definitely admire it. For me, it's always something to learn from everyone. So, you know, you guys are doing a tremendous job over there, and we definitely applaud you.
Absolutely.
Like one more question. Yadlynd, right? I know you guys do too, but before I even get into that, right? I wanted to see, like, what do you, if a new agent should approach you, right? They want to get into business, they're super excited, you're seasoned. What would you say to that person?
Okay.
Like, what advice would you have for a new agent right now wanting to get into business with this current climate specifically too?
So the first thing I would say is join a company that provides you with training. You cannot be in this business if you're not constantly learning. Okay, so training is key. And you have to take the training. So like during COVID, my office, we gave training like every single day. And we have 450 people in my office.
Yes.
I would say about 100 people showed up.
Wow.
Okay, so those are probably the people that are most successful, the people that are constantly learning and growing. I would also say identify a mentor. Someone that you can, like, if you want to do something, you need to see and learn from someone that's doing it. If you have someone that you admire and you see them that they're doing exactly what you want to do or more,
right?
Don't be afraid to say, hey, listen, I'm new to this. Can you help me? What kind of advice? And just have them as a sounding board to kind of help you grow. And I feel like, back in the day, I thought that, that wasn't a thing. Like, you can't just go to people and ask them for their secret recipe. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a thing.
Yeah, but you can. You can. I help people all day long that are not on my team.
It depends on the person. People are still trying to hold their secret sauce on as if it's not.
They are.
But you know what? Here's the thing. You can have the secret sauce. You can give out your secret sauce, but you don't know. Everybody's not going to mix it the way you can.
Exactly.
Like, you just have the sauce, but how are you going to mix it? Everyone has their own thing.
True.
Exactly.
You ladies have any other questions for Yadlynd before I give her this, the wrap-up question, basically?
Okay, well, I hope you haven't answered that question already, but, time is perhaps the most critical step to any puzzle. Have you and your team reset your high leverages activities for the new norm?
So like you said, time is important. And one of the things that I've done for the last couple of years is constantly reevaluating our goals.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that a lot of people do is that they set their goals, they set it and they forget it. And then at the end of the year, they'll say, oh, I hit it, or, oh, I didn't. We are constantly resetting our goals. Time blocking is really, really important for you to be able to maximize the amount of work and the level of work that you're doing. Mm-hmm. So we time block, we reevaluate our goals on a regular basis. I'm talking like maybe once a month. I look at my numbers. I know what my GCI is right now as we talk. I know what I know my numbers. I know how many transactions, I know all those things, and I know where I want to be. And then I also know for the team what we need to do to get to where we want to be. So using your time wisely, because also like with work, we want to spend time with our kids. And that was one of the reasons why I did start the team, is because I wanted to make sure that my boys and my husband, they're seeing me, they're enjoying me. I'm not exhausted all the time. I want to be able to have my family life and take care of myself as a woman, as just a sister. I want to be, take care of myself. So our team, we make sure that we time block, we communicate with each other, and we reevaluate our goals, and we communicate what we are we communicate our expectations to each other.
Okay.
That just came out all.
No worries, we get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, and one thing I want to touch on is I try to be such a positive person when it comes to people asking us to, I want to get into real estate. What advice can you give me and stuff like that? And, it's hard to just be like, real estate isn't as easy as it looks. Like, you don't want to just come out and say that, because then people think that you're trying to steer them away. But, I think all of us individually could really say that this is something that you literally had to just take the step and make it. You were just gonna, it was a solo mission, at the beginning, and you either gonna do it or you're not gonna do it, and you're gonna have to just learn along the way, because it's a lot, and everyone's not going to be in your corner. Everybody's not going to give you leads. Everybody's not going to refer you, and you're going to have to do a lot of the groundwork and build that foundation on your own.
That's another thing. The leads.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the leads.
You should not expect leads. You are responsible for your leads. You are responsible. This is your business. Yeah. If you ever go anywhere and you're expecting leads, you're setting yourself up, because the minute that they don't want to give you leads, they're pretty much not feeding you. They're saying, I'm not going to feed you anymore. And you never want to be in that position.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to, you're the master of your own leads.
Yeah. It's, you know, like advice that I give to people that approach me all the time, like, oh, you look like you're doing so well. And what advice, etc. I was like, you know, one of the most important things for me that has helped me over the years is you have to stay learning based, whether it's, you know, going to different training, reading books, etc. Like I'm big on that. Like I'm not even with Keller Williams, and I'm always at their training, whether it's paid, bold training. I'm always there, you know what I mean? So I'm big on learning based, and I think that's important because a lot of people come into business all about the money, and they don't realize that the more you learn, the more you earn.
Yeah, and it's not transactional. You have to build relationships. That's another thing. You treat people like transactions, and that's not the way to go. You have to build relationships. I'm building a relationship with you guys. Build relationships with your clients. You know, that's how you become successful. But if you see everyone as a transaction, that's not good.
You'll never be able to grow in your business. This has been an awesome conversation.
Yadlynd, since the first time I met you, I love your energy. I love who you are. Keep doing what you're doing. You just, you know, some people, as you run into the business, you just like, I like her.
Thank you so much. I feel the same way with you ladies. Like I said, I'm very happy that you guys called me to be on this. And I hope we can maybe get the team on. And we need to do more things together. And I can't wait till we can go out now. Like, I miss
it's
going out.
It's going out. See you guys at events, you know?
I know.
It's been a hot minute. Yeah. But you know, this particular episode was learning based. It was for us to dig deep, get to know you, get some advice from you, being that you're a seasoned realtor that's doing pretty well for herself and your team, right? So a lot of realtors are going to be listening to this. So I wanted to get like a final nugget from you, right? If you could call it that. I want a recommendation. We want a book or program that you would recommend to a new realtor or a seasoned realtor that's not doing so well.
Know which book I'm going to recommend.
What is that?
MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
I should have told you that's disqualified.
No, because let me tell you, I've read that book 3 times and I'm going to continue reading it. Okay, that book has helped me.
The Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
As an individual agent and also someone running a business, as someone running a team. That book, there's just so much information in that book. And every single time I read it, I get something new.
A new nugget. I have it too, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not even with Keller Williams.
I actually gave my book away.
I didn't get that one.
I'm gonna hook you up. I got you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have to get it too now.
Yeah,
I got both of you.
I have one from Gary Keller, but it's The One Thing.
And that's great too.
But I have that one too. I got that from my good friend Mike Brown. So yes, I got that one too. Yeah.
The MREA is definitely. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so
it's a learning-based company.
If the one thing that you would say, one book that you would recommend, a staple, is The Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Yes, and that teaches you how to become a successful solo agent. That also teaches you how to leverage talent. It teaches you how to run a business, because this is a business, ladies. This is what we're doing. This is our business. And there's just like a lot of information, your systems, how to create your systems. Like there's so much information in that book. You definitely have to get it and then read it over and over and over again.
You make me want to go reread the book.
Definitely. Let's do it together.
I'm going on there now to go order it.
Yeah. Once I get off, I'm definitely going to go order that book.
Yes.
Well, ladies, I appreciate the time today, especially Yadlynd. You have been awesome. You poured into us. We appreciate you. I don't know if we could thank you enough. I can't wait for the time that we could actually, thank you with a drink. Right? Over cocktails. So it's been awesome, and thank you for tuning in to our viewers. Thank you for coming on, Yadlynd, and we look to forward to having you on with your entire team so we could dive in and learn even more than we did today. This is a great episode. I'm pretty sure a lot of realtors or even non-realtors can just gather some gems just about building business and just how you went from forensic psychology to real estate. You made a big shift, so great stuff, ladies. Thank you once again for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Having me, ladies.
Out there, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe Women in Real Estate Podcasts. And you can find us on Google, Apple, and Spotify. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
The Wire Podcast.